What is up, everyone? Guys, listen up. In today's video, after 300 hours of gameplay, these are gonna be my 3 favorite underrated weapons that everyone should try out. And I mean that. These weapons are extremely fun. They're actually very good as well on Ruthless difficulty. I already have 2 full builds for 2 of these weapons, and I'm going to be working on the 3rd one here very soon, so stay tuned for that. The first weapon that I want to talk about is the Stalker bolt rifle. Now, this is once again one of the most underrated weapons in the game, right? This weapon does extremely good single target damage. The ammo economy on this can be ridiculously good, and you can also use it for ad clear with the right builds. Now, the main class you want to utilize this on is going to be the tactical, right? With the scans and everything. Another great thing about the Stalker bolt rifle is that you can stay at range, so you don't necessarily need to rush your enemy. So let's say if you see a pack of elites, you can stay at range, right? Like you can scope in, you can zoom in, take them out from afar. Across the board, this weapon feels very good. Once again, with the right perks, you're never gonna run out of ammo. And when I say never, I mean that. Like, you're never gonna have ammo issues at all. It also has absolutely cracked damage when it comes to bosses. You're gonna be melting bosses, and it doesn't matter which boss it is, by the way, as long as you're landing the shots. And if you're going against the flying ball sack boss, you're going to be chunking them down with ease. Just trust me on this one. Upgrade it, use the build that is going to be in the description for the Stalker, and you're not going to regret it. Now let's move on to the next weapon, which you're going to find on the heavy class, and that's going to be the heavy bolter. The heavy bolter is one of those weapons that really does cover most of the things in the game. For example, if you're looking for amazing ad clear, it has you covered. If you're looking to take out elites really fast, it also has you covered. If you're looking for boss damage, it does a pretty good job. I don't think that it is as good as the Stalker bolt rifle when it comes to melting bosses, simply because, you know, the Stalker bolt rifle also comes on the tactical class, so you're gonna have way higher burst damage, but the heavy bolter is a phenomenal choice across the board. And with the right build on the heavy bolter, you can have very good precision, which is gonna mean that even though the elites might be a little bit far away, you're still going to be landing consistent headshots, which is what you want on this build. You want to go for that high damage and good accuracy. And if you manage to do that, once again, the build is in the description, you're not going to regret it. You're going to be covering elites, ad clear, boss damage is going to be decent, and your ammo economy is going to be great. You can have over 600 shots with the right builds, right? Because heavy does offer quite a few perks in order to make your ammo economy much better, which is not just good for you, by the way, it's good for your teammates as well. And across the board, just having a heavy in your team is a great choice, right? Like, that's one of the strongest classes in the game. If you're playing Ruthless and if you have heavy in there, yeah, it's just going to make the runs overall easier. Another thing to keep in mind when it comes to heavy bolter is it's one of those bolt weapons. To be honest, a lot of the bolt weapons feel like that, right? Like, you start and they feel horrible, but once you fully upgrade them, the jump in damage is just out of this world. Like, it feels like a completely different weapon, but the heavy bolter feels more so than others. So if you're upgrading it and you're like, you know what, this doesn't really feel good, I don't know what Pip is talking about, give it a chance. Just get it to relic, then follow the build that is in the description, and I'm telling you, you're gonna love it. You're gonna be very surprised at the high damage that it can deal. The next weapon we're gonna take a look at is the Instigator bolt rifle. Now, this is like a 3-burst rifle. If you played Destiny 2, pulse rifles, pretty much the same thing, right? Once you get it to relic, the damage is nice, and it has like 0 recoil. So for example, if you grapple to an enemy and you get close, you can literally use it like a shotgun, but just go for the headshots. You will see that after a grapple, it does a great job. It does really well against elites. It's great against taking out smaller enemies as well. The ammo economy needs to be built correctly. It's not going to be as good as the Stalker bolt rifle, for example, but it can be still very decent. The single target damage is nice. This one probably also comes down to the fact if you enjoy burst rifles. I always enjoyed like 3 burst, 4 burst, 2 burst, whatever it is, something that is not like a normal assault rifle or, so to speak, a scout rifle from D2. And this is one of them. It's very unique, and I just like how the weapon feels as well. As I said, the damage, once you get it to relic, this is a bolt weapon. Don't forget, you need to fully upgrade it to feel its true power, because if you're not doing that, man, it's tough, right? Like, at the beginning, the bolt rifles are so weak. That doesn't happen to the Melta, for example. Like, even when you have the level 1 Melta and you bring it into Ruthless difficulty, it's like, okay, I can still absolutely destroy everything, even though it's not upgraded. At least the ad clear feels incredible, and the stagger is still there. So if there's a bunch of elites coming at me, I can keep staggering them and I'm good. But with bolt weapons, that is not the case. Once again, just you gotta commit. You gotta get it to that relic level. And once you do, you're gonna feel how much better all of these 3 weapons that I went over really are. And once again, like when it comes to the elites, you just need a few bursts with this weapon, right? And we don't know what they're gonna do with the bolt rifles specifically, but they have said that they're looking into it. And if they don't buff them specifically, they were also talking about nerfing the enemy's HP. And that's pretty much a buff to all weapons, no matter what, right? Because it's just gonna take less shots if it's a bolter or whatever it is. So it's gonna be interesting what happens with the upcoming update, which should be dropping really soon, by the way. I'm super excited about that. I'm going to be streaming that pretty much all day, and we're going to be checking all the changes in the game and making different kind of builds and videos, updating all of the builds as well. So it's going to be a great freaking time. So yeah, guys, this is going to be the 3 top weapons that I think are very, very underrated in the game. If you haven't yet, make sure to check them out. Don't judge these weapons until you get them to relic. Please do not, because bolters just work that way. They feel way worse than the Melta, heavy plasma incinerator. These weapons are not the same, but once you upgrade them, it's a good time. If you guys did enjoy this video, and only if you did, slap the like, sub to the channel. Guys, thank you so much for all the love and support on the channel. You guys have been absolutely crushing it. You guys know, bro, I love to answer those comments. So drop your thoughts on these weapons. I would love to hear them. As always, guys, stay positive, stay disciplined, and I'll see you all on the next one. I mean, we literally have the best community of all time. Oh! Oh, he got no scoped.